Hello all, welcome to the finite element analysis classroom. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the one-dimensional heat transfer problems using finite element analysis. So for solving one-dimensional heat transfer problem, we can use finite element method. In finite element method, we have two types of problem. One is structural problem and another one is non-structural problem. In structural problem, we can calculate the displacement at each node. In case of non-structural problems, we can calculate the temperature and the pressure at each node. So here, the one-dimensional heat transfer comes under non-structural problem. So here, the general FEA equation is F is equal to K into T. So here, F is the force vector and K is the stiffness matrix and the T is the temperature vector. Okay, so in case of one-dimensional heat transfer, we have three cases. The first case is conduction only. So when the element is subjected to only conduction, that is, the element is insulated throughout, because we have three modes of heat transfer. One is conduction, the second one is convection, and the third one is radiation. So in FEA, we will have conduction, convection, and internal heat generation. When the body is insulated in the surface and it is subjected to conduction alone, then it comes under case 1. So if it is subjected to conduction, then we have a higher temperature at the node 1, and when the conduction takes place, the thermal conductivity will be given. So the temperature of node 2 is reduced because of the conduction losses. The temperature is transmitted to T2, so T1 is reduced to T2. Okay, fine. So the FEA equation for calculating the conduction is F is equal to K into T. So here F is the force vector. If any external load is applied, then we can consider F1 and F2. Then K is the stiffness matrix for conduction. So here the equation is AK by L. Here A is the area, cross-sectional area. The K is the thermal conductivity. Okay. Then L is the length of the element. Then T1 is the temperature at node 1 and T2 is the temperature at node 2. Okay. So if the cross-section area is not given, then we can consider a unit cross-section area. The second case is conduction and end convection. So here the end is exposed to atmosphere with some heat transfer coefficient. Okay, the H value will be given. Here the ends are not insulated, that is why it is exposed to atmosphere. So throughout the section it is subjected to conduction, and at the end it is subjected to convection. So that is the second case. So conduction and end convection. So here I have considered three elements. This is element number 1, element number 2, and this is element number 3. So the node 1 is subjected to only conduction, element 1. The element 2 has only conduction. The element 3 has both conduction as well as the end convection. So this comes under case number 2. So mostly the heat transfer through composite walls problem comes under case 2. So this is the equation for conduction with end convection. It is AK by L 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. So this is for convection, K convection, and this is for K conduction. Okay, so this is HA0001 because the conduction takes place only at the, convection takes place only at the end. So here H is the heat transfer coefficient and A is the cross-sectional area. And here this is the force vector. So it is H T alpha into A. T alpha is the atmospheric temperature. Okay, so these are all the units. I'm going to substitute the area in meter square, thermal conductivity in watt per meter Kelvin, temperatures in Kelvin. Then the third case is conduction, then surface convection. So here the surface is not insulated, so it is exposed to atmospheric. So you can see the symbol. So convection takes place at the surface and the end is insulated. You can see that the end is insulated, so there is no end convection, but the internal heat generation will be there. So Q will be given. Okay, fine. So in case of conduction, surface convection and internal heat generation, the FEA equation is AK by L. This is for K conduction and this is for K convection. So HPL divided by 6. So here H is heat transfer coefficient and P is the perimeter. L divided by 6 and temperature. So here QAL is for internal heat generation. Okay. So here the Q is heat generation. It is given in watt and the remaining terms we know that. Okay. So if there is no internal heat generation, then we can put the Q value as 0. So this is in the case of conduction, surface convection and internal heat generation. So in problems we'll have two type of problem. One is the composite wall problems. So the composite wall problems has two cases. Consists of two cases. One is case 1, that is this is actually the example. For no element 1 and element 2 it is only conduction and for element 3 it is conduction plus end convection. So this is for composite wall problems. And second type of problem is fin problem. So in case of fin problem you will have surface convection. Okay, so throughout the section, so you can refer case 3 for fin problems. Okay, so you have to identify whether it is case 1 or case 2 or case 3. So this is the first problem. A furnace wall is made of 3 layers. Inside layer with thermal conductivity of 8.5 watt per meter Kelvin. So this is the given drawing. Since it has 3 layers, I have split it into 3 elements. So the nodal temperatures are T1, T2, T3 and T4. The length of the element 1 is L1, L2, L3. Similarly K1, K2, K3. And in the problem, the K1 is given as 8.5. The middle layer with conductivity 0.25. So K2 is 0.25. Then the outer layer with conductivity 0.08. K3 is 0.08. So K3 is equal to 0.08. The respective thickness of inner, middle and outer layers are 25 centimeters. So inner thickness is 25 centimeters. So it is 0.25 meter. As I told earlier, I am going to substitute everything in meter. Then the middle layer thickness is 5 centimeter. It is 0.05 meter and 0.03 meter respectively. The inside temperature of the wall is 600 degrees Celsius. That is T1 is equal to 600 degrees Celsius. I am going to convert it into Kelvin. So I am going to add 273. So I will get 873 Kelvin. And outside of the wall is exposed to atmospheric air at 30 degrees Celsius. So T alpha is equal to 30 degrees Celsius. That is equal to 30 plus 273. That is equal to 303 Kelvin. With the heat transfer coefficient of H is equal to 45 watt per meter square Kelvin. Determine the nodal temperature. So we have to identify the values of T2, T3 and T4. Okay, so here this atmospheric temperature is not T4. Okay, so don't get confused because convection is there. So you will have a temperature loss in between T4 and T alpha. Fine. So we'll start the problem. So here the first element is subjected to only the conduction. The second element is subjected to only conduction. The third element is subjected to conduction and the end convection. So for element 1 it is case 1. For element 2 it is also case 1. Element 3 is case 2 because it has conduction as well as the end convection. So we'll start with the element 1. So element 1 has only conduction. Okay. So for conduction it is case 1. The equation is AK by L. Since it is element 1, it is A1 K1 by L1, 1 minus 1 minus 1, 1, T1 T2 is equal to F1 and F2. So the area, cross-sectional area is not given. So I am going to assume a unit cross-sectional area. A1 is equal to 1 meter square. K I have substituted, L1 value I have substituted since it is given. and I have calculated the stiffness matrix for element 1. Since there is no force, external force is acting, you can put 0 0 here. Okay, fine. Then for element 2 it is also only conduction. If it is only conduction, then it is case 2. So in case of element 2 it is A2 K2 by L2. K2 is 0.25 and L2 is 0.05. So it is 0.05, 0.25 and 0.05. So I'm going to multiply it inside, because while assembling I have to multiply all the constant values inside the matrix. So here also there is no external load is applied, so we can put 0 0. Now the element 3 has both conduction plus end convection. So if it is conduction plus end convection, then it is case 2. Sorry, here it is case 1. Sorry, don't get confused. If it is conduction, it is case 1. Here it is case 2, since it has conduction and end convection. Okay. So for case 2, the equation is AK by L. Since it is element 3, it is A3 K3 by L3 plus H into A0001, and the temperatures for element 3 is T3 and T4, H T alpha A. Okay. So here A I have considered as 1, K3 value is given, L3 is given, H is given, then T alpha is also given. So I have substituted all the values, and I have multiplied it inside the matrix, then I have added these two matrices. So this is my final solution, and here I have a force vector since it has end convection. Now before going to the assembly, I have to number the stiffness matrix. For element 1 it is T1 and T2, for element 2 it is T2 T3, for element 3 it is T3 and T4. So this is T1, T2, T1 and T2, since this is for element 1. Then for element 2 it is T2, T3, T2 and T3. Then for element 3 it is T3, T4, T3 and T4. So now I am going to assemble this. We know how to assemble the stiffness matrix because it is almost like the one-dimensional bar element. Okay. So the numbering is T1, T2, T3, T4, then T1, T2, T3 and T4. So now I have assembled all the values, and this is my K into T is equal to F. Okay, so this is my K matrix, this is my T, and here I have assembled the force vector. Okay, so force vector, for assembling force vector also you can give numbering. This is T1, T2 since it is element 1. Then for element 2 it is T2, T3, and for element 3
This is the top result.
it is T3 and T4. So here it is T1, T2, T3 and T4. Okay, so this is the final assembled stiffness matrix for the problem. So now to solve this equation we have to follow 4 steps. Okay, so this is not like the previous case problems, because in the previous problems, that is in the structural problems, the initial boundary values will not be given, that is they will not specify any displacement. But here the initial nodal temperature, that is initial boundary condition, is given. So that is T1 is given in the problem. So this is called as initial boundary value problems. Okay, so for calculating the solution for initial boundary value problems, we have to follow some procedures. So now I'll tell you the procedure. So first step is the first row and first column of the stiffness matrix has been set equal to 0 except the main diagonal, which is equal to 1. So here you can see that except this k of 1 comma 1, the remaining terms are all equal to 0. So here I have replaced this 1 comma 1 by 1, and all the remaining values, that is first row and first column values, are 0. So this is my step 1. And the step 2 is I'm going to replace this f of 1 comma 1 by the known temperature, because I already know the value for T1, that is 873 Kelvin. So here I have replaced this first column of first row of force vector by the known temperature. Then the third step is my f of 2 comma 1 is equal to minus of k of 2 comma 1 into f of 1 comma 1. So here minus k of 2 comma 1 means this is my k 2 comma 1. So that is 34. So here it is equal to, already I have a minus. So the value is minus 34 into f of 1 comma 1 is 873. So this step is very, very important. So k of 2 comma 1 is minus 34 into the known temperature 873. Okay. So that is equal to, minus and minus will get cancelled. I will get 29682. Okay. So now I am replacing this f of 2 comma 1 by this calculated value. Now I can neglect the first row and first column of the matrix. So I can neglect this first row and the first column, and I can take only the remaining terms. So that is, you will get a 3 cross 3 matrix with T2, T3 and T4. Now you can use the calculator to find out the solution. So the final value is T2 is equal to 846.3 Kelvin, T3 is 664.4 Kelvin and T4 is 323.2 Kelvin. Okay. So here we have three elements. The first element is subjected to only conduction, that is why it is case 1. The second element is also subjected to only conduction, so it is case 1. The third element is subjected to conduction as well as the end convection, so it comes under case 2. So we can calculate the stiffness matrix individually and we can assemble it. After assembling, follow the procedure. First step is 1 and the first row and first column values will be 0. Then the second step is f of 1 comma 1 is equal to the known temperature. So this T1 value is given in the problem. And the third step is f of 2 comma 1 is equal to minus k of 2 comma 1. So this is my k matrix. K of 2 comma 1 is minus 34 into the f of 1 comma 1, that is 873. Okay. So here I have replaced it. Then you can neglect the first row and first column and you can find out the solution. So this is how we have to approach the one-dimensional heat transfer problems. So this is the tutorial problem. A wall of 0.6 meter thickness having thermal conductivity of 1.2 watt per meter Kelvin. So it has a thermal conductivity of 1.2 watt per meter Kelvin. The wall is to be insulated with a material of thickness. So this wall is insulated. So the wall of thickness 0.6 meter is insulated with a material of 0.06 meter thickness, and it has a thermal conductivity of 0.3 watt per meter Kelvin. So this has two elements. One is the wall and the another one is insulation. The inner side temperature is 1000 degrees Celsius. So T1 is equal to 1000 degrees Celsius. Convert it into Kelvin, it is 1273 Kelvin. And the outside insulation is exposed to atmospheric air at 30 degrees Celsius. So T alpha is equal to 30 degrees Celsius, that is 303 Kelvin. With heat transfer coefficient, H value is given. So this is 35 watt per meter square Kelvin. Calculate the nodal temperature. So we have to find out T2 and T3. The T1 value is given. So it has only two elements. The element 1 is subjected to only conduction. So it is case 1. The element 2 is subjected to conduction and end convection. So it comes under case 2. So you can calculate the stiffness matrix individually. You can assemble it. Then you can follow the 4 steps to find out the solution. So the calculated result is T2 is equal to 607.3 Kelvin and T3 is equal to 341.03 Kelvin.